Today, on Guess What I Found Out, we're going to discover some facts about the hippo. Nature's attempt at making a sea creature, then immediately giving up halfway through. These big-boned, amphibious lawnmowers are basically whales that decided to stay in the kiddie pool for 54 million years. So buckle up, Curious George, because we're about to dive deep. Well, not too deep, because spoiler alert, hippos can't actually swim. Oh, and while you're here, don't be that person who watches the whole video, but forgets to like and follow. Clicking that button is literally easier than a hippo's diet plan, and trust me, that's mostly just grass. For the longest time, scientists assumed hippos were related to pigs. I mean, just look at them. Big, round and capable of ruining your picnic, but plot twist. Their closest relatives are actually whales and dolphins. That's right. Instead of being the land pig of your nightmares, hippos are basically whales that refused to commit to the ocean life. Meanwhile, manatees, the ones that actually look like squishy hippos, are related to elephants. Makes perfect sense. Science. Now, despite being semi-aquatic, hippos don't actually swim. They bounce along the bottom of rivers like a 3,000-pound bunny rabbit. It's both majestic and hilarious. Their ultra-dense bones keep them from floating away like meat balloons, and their chunky lung capacity gives them just enough buoyancy to pretend they belong in the water. It's basically the moon landing, but underwater, and with more aggressive yawning. Speaking of aggressive yawning, if you don't like this video, I'll assume it's because you're intimidated by the sheer power of a hippo's nap skills. Prove me wrong, Curious George, and hit that like button. You ever seen a hippo in the water? Their eyes, ears and nostrils are all conveniently placed on top of their head, so they can lurk like a creepy old man at the community pool. And just like an old man, they have some interesting hygiene habits. Hippos don't sweat. They secrete a thick red mucus that acts as both sunscreen and antibacterial goo. It's like their own personal spa treatment, except it looks like a horror movie special effect. Scientists discovered that hippos make clicking sounds underwater, possibly to echolocate, much like dolphins. But you, Curious George, might be thinking, wait, wasn't that just a fart? A valid theory, but no, hippo echolocation isn't powered by butt trumpets. Science ruled it out. But honestly, it would have been hilarious if nature had given them magic sonar farts. Missed opportunity. Speaking of missed opportunities, if you haven't followed this page yet, do it now. Otherwise, you'll never know if science ever finds an animal that actually uses fart sonar. Priorities. Despite their hefty frames, hippos can sprint up to 30 miles per hour. That's faster than most humans, meaning if a hippo ever comes after you, just accept your fate. Also, they have weaponized faces. Their canine teeth never stop growing, sharpening themselves like a nature-made guillotine. So when they yawn, it's not because they're tired, it's a flex. It's a 2-foot-long self-sharpening flex. Hippos don't just poop, they poop spectacularly. They don't do the shy, I'll just go over here and pretend nobody's watching routine. No, they launch it into the air with their tail like a malfunctioning Dodo brand bidet. Scientists think this is their way of scent marking, but let's be real. It's also their way of making sure everyone else suffers. Also, fun fact, their poop-filled pools create entire ecosystems by feeding bacteria and algae, which feed fish, which feed birds. So yeah, nature runs on hippo doo-doo. Nature runs on hippo. So, to summarize, hippos are whale relatives that can't swim, lurk like poolside creepers, sprint like Olympians, and turn their own waste into an environmental movement. Basically, they are nature's version of that one uncle who lives in a swamp, doesn't respect personal space, and somehow still has the energy to party. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit that follow button before a hippo gets mad and decides to chase your boat for fun. Don't risk it, Curious George. You're not out pacing that meat torpedo.